everyone. Pastor Nathan here. We're going to spend a little bit of time in Psalm 33 today. Psalm for our devotion. This was our reading this past Sunday, and there's one thing that just struck me and still strikes me today. The king is not saved by his great army. This is Psalm 33:16. The warrior is not delivered by his great strength. And verse 17. The war horse is a false hope for salvation, and by its great might it cannot rescue. I got to imagine this psalm is not written by David, but certainly it could describe David. You got to imagine that there's this army, there's this other nation who has declared perhaps war on your country. And what is the first thing that you're going to look to in order to feel safe and secure? Well, you might look to your army. You might look to your military resources and military might and think, okay, do I have enough to go against this guy, or is this going to be a struggle? Am I going to win, or is he going to win? If it should come to that, if we can't come to terms peaceably. And so the psalmist writing here says the king is not saved by his great army, nor is the warrior delivered by his great strength. The war horse is a false hope for salvation. Like these military, this military language describing what a king, what a leader might look to for salvation, for hope, for security, and for peace. The psalmist is saying it's not where you should look, because they're not where the true kind of authority, power lies. That lies someplace else. It lies with God. I think about today, like moving this forward, like formidable things aren't just kind of the realm of kings and leaders and armies. We face formidable challenges on a regular basis, from things such as formidable challenges at work, formidable challenges at home, maybe formidable challenges at school among your peers. I think about formidable challenges when it comes to health, whether that's sort of cancer or disease, or struggling with with long COVID, those kinds of things, where it's a formidable challenge of body, or maybe it's of mind. Even if we could go there too, where we struggle with sin. We struggle with sin, the kind of big S sin, but we struggle with little sin too, like things we have done, said, or thought that are not reflective of who our God is and what he wants us to do in the world. And then, perhaps the guilt and the shame that comes with that. I mean, there are formidable foes all over the place. And what the psalmist is reminding us is that when we are facing formidable challenges, the first place to run is not necessarily what the world would tell us to run to, the outward things. It's not that the army doesn't matter. Like if David's looking at, facing off against the Philistines or something like that, it's not like the army is pointless. It's just that that's not where victory lies, first and foremost. It lies someplace else. It lies with God. So when we're struggling, when we find ourselves in a formidable situation, home life, marriage life, work life, inner life, school life, health life, when we find ourselves struggling with those things, the first place to go to is God. Here's what the psalmist says next. This is verses 18 and 19. Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope in his steadfast love, that he may deliver their soul from death and keep them alive in famine. Notice what the psalmist has done there. He has said, look, there is an important spiritual component to this. It's like he is the one who keeps their soul from death. Like we start with the spiritual and then we move to the physical. Keep them alive in famine. It's like the Lord is the one who gives strength in the midst of these things and gives deliverance in the midst of the formidable things that life throws our way. So whatever comes, the first place to run is the Lord, and then go from there. So like the psalmist says, Psalm 20, our soul waits for the Lord. He's our help and our shield, for our heart is glad in him because we trust in his holy name. It's not like that. It's not that the doctors are pointless. It's not that books aren't helpful. It's not that changing jobs isn't a solution. It's not that Marriage counseling isn't a place to go. Those are all things that are helpful and good. But the psalmist is reminding us we start first with the Lord and then move on to those other things. Because that's, as I've said before in this devotion, because that's where the hope truly lies. Hope now and hope forever. So anyhow, whatever you're struggling with, whether this is a good day, bad day, or somewhere in between, run to the Lord. Start with him, because your hope starts there, and then go from there and see what he will do and what tools he will use in order to heal and to rescue wherever you're at. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.